You are likely watching this right now through a piece of tapping glass, on a phone, a laptop, or a tablet. In the hardware hierarchy, these fall into a specific category, the microcomputer. They are the least powerful tier of computing, but because they are everywhere, they are the most widely used and fastest growing category on the market. That microcomputer category covers everything, from the desktop tower to the notebook in your bag, down to tablets, handheld devices, and wearable tech on our wrists. It is remarkably easy to look at that piece of glass and metal and think of it as a completely isolated box, a self-contained machine where the hardware and software sit neatly in your pocket. Tapping an icon to check the weather or buy a pair of shoes triggers a global chain reaction involving 4 distinct tiers of hardware and 6 separate system components to deliver a result. Your phone is merely the smallest, most accessible entry point into a massive, hidden hierarchy of computing power. The moment you make a request, your microcomputer acts as a client, packaging up your prompt and firing it out into the broader network. Its immediate destination is usually a mid-range computer. Formerly known as mini-computers, these machines operate as servers. Their entire job in the client-server relationship is to catch that packet, process your request, and route the data where it needs to go next. But sometimes your request is complex, querying a massive database, checking an international flight manifest, or processing a banking transaction. The mid-range server has to escalate the task to the next level up. That brings us to the mainframe computer. These are dedicated machines built to handle the intense data needs of large corporations and institutions. Sitting directly between mid-range servers and the absolute peak of computing, mainframes deliver significantly greater processing speed and storage capacity, allowing them to juggle millions of simultaneous operations at once. Checking your bank balance feels instantaneous, but it completely relies on this precise escalating handoff from the micro up to the mid-range and deep into the mainframe. Even a corporate mainframe has its limits, though. When the math requires planetary scale processing, we have to look to the absolute top tier of the hardware hierarchy. Supercomputers are the most powerful machines on Earth. They are operated by huge organizations, like research labs or government agencies, and are defined by their extreme processing speed and colossal storage capacities. To give you a sense of scale, look at Frontier, housed at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory. It occupies a massive physical footprint, consisting of a sprawling array of heavily networked cabinets. Because they crunch data at such extreme velocities, these machines generate immense amounts of heat. They require specially air-conditioned rooms just to prevent them from melting themselves down. When you check the radar on your phone's weather app to see if it will rain, the app itself isn't calculating global atmospheric pressure. It is displaying the final, highly localized result of an equation solved by a supercomputer hours earlier. We've now traced the physical journey from your phone all the way to a supercomputer. But all of these machines, the micro, the mid-range, the mainframe, and the super, represent only a single element, the hardware. On its own, physical equipment does nothing. It requires software, the step-by-step instructions that tell the circuits exactly what to do and exactly how to do it. Those instructions need raw material to work with. We call this data. When hardware uses software to process raw data, it yields usable information, which is then stored electronically in files. None of this functions in isolation, so everything is linked together through connectivity. This physical and invisible linkage happens over copper wires, fiber optics, and radio waves spanning the globe. To keep the whole operation stable, there are procedures. These are the documented rules and user manuals, written by computer specialists and provided by manufacturers, dictating how the systems must be operated and maintained. Without software, data, connectivity, and strict procedures, a supercomputer is just a very expensive, very heavy piece of metal. But when you combine those 5 elements, you build a functional information system. Which brings us back to where we started, that microcomputer sitting right there in your hands. But there is still a 6th and absolutely final component that is required to complete the information system: people. People are the end users. We are the essential catalysts who pick up these small devices to access the massive computing networks beyond our walls. A single tap from your finger mobilizes 4 different tiers of hardware, activating physical wires and radio waves to push data through servers and mainframes. all guided by step-by-step software and strict procedural rules. That discrete machine in your hand is a personal access point to a planetary-scale information system that you command every single day.